Now we got Bowie TV's Commanders reporter Candy Waller on. What is going on, Candy?
Hey,
Live on
y'all.
site from MetLife, man.
Can
Thank you
y'all?
for doing this.
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you sound
Yep.
great.
Okay, I have to look around.
Nah.
The ops. Okay. Hey,
So,
y'all.
how you doing, Candy? Candy.
I'm doing
So
all right.
first off, like, how's the vibe? With you was out, you were there for the presser, locker room stuff. How's the vibe?
The vibe is cool.
Mhm.
I mean, they lost, but I'm an advocate for them losing in the preseason. I am. I ain't gonna lie because historically, whenever they do well in the preseason, they lose in life. That's what I told LA. I said they lose in life. They
Ain't
lose
lying.
all regular season long.
Yeah.
If I don't know what it is, and so I'd be like, yeah. As soon as they lost, I said yes. So this is real. This is really
It's real now.
this is going to get better because
Okay.
it's not a good sign when they start winning in preseason. Just I don't know. That's when the superstitious side of me starts coming in. But you know what? Overall, the vibe is good.
Mhm.
It is not any sad faces or anything. Guys got in great work.
Mhm.
Jaden Daniels at the podium was good. He was good, and
Mhm.
I had to laugh a little bit in Dan Quinn's presser, try to hold in my laugh as much as possible
Okay.
when he started to describe when Jaden went off script um, on that play to Diami. That was
Okay.
not the play. That was
Oh,
not the
yeah.
play. But Jaden did say in his presser that Coach Kingsbury told him if you see, we call something, you don't see it, you don't like it, you
Love
can
it.
check it. So he checked it but didn't tell nobody he was going to check it. And then he said that he joked about it earlier, like, I'm going to, but in the moment, he didn't know he was going to until he got out there and he did. So it's good stuff, really good stuff.
Doesn't that show the trust though that he's already building with Kingsbury and the staff that they're already saying to him and it's preseason game 1, year 1. Hey, look, if there's something you don't like, you can check to it. And I think that goes back to OTAs and just how good he was in terms of the work and the preparation and the mental approach that he showed there.
He loves football. I've said this on my show several times. I mean, and I'll say it here. He really loves football. All of these guys do. And I think, I may say that, and then folks may say, well, of course they love football because they're playing. No,
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 no, no, no.
every time.
Not everybody that's great at it loves it.
Mm-hmm.
It's two different things. And it's two different types of energies that are brought and he really loves this. Um, and I think it gives the guys all the juice in the world to see him take that chance in a preseason game. I also think it's important to mention from Dan Quinn's press conference that Jaden asked to go back out.
Mm.
He wanted to, they had already agreed he would only play one series. Marcus Mariota would only play one series in this game. And Jaden asked to go back in, and they had to tell him no. And that is not, and he did not only play one series. I want to be clear on this as well from head coach Dan Quinn's press conference. He did not only play one series because they scored.
Okay.
It did not matter. He was only going to do one series, whether they scored or not. And so the fact that he wanted to go back in and they were like, nope. That says a lot.
Speaking of QB1, Sam Hartman, you got an update on him because you the one that reported that he was being evaluated for injury. I was wondering why he didn't go back in for that last drive.
Right. We saw him downstairs. He's walking around. He does look a little bit frustrated. He has ice pack. He's wrapped up with an ice pack. I guess it would be on his right shoulder. So not sure what that means, but he is up and mobile and moving around, but he is definitely wrapped up pretty good with ice on that right shoulder.
Awesome, because we gotta get to Forbes soon. You already know that, right?
Yes. Yeah. So did anybody talk to Forbes? Or
I mean, I did not.
you did not? What were your thoughts? You keep it pretty much. You keep it 100. So, what were your thoughts overall, though? First off, what were some of your negatives? I'll start there.
Well, I mean, I want to say it's tough, right? It's tough
Yeah.
because it's like you always have to put things into context. I posted something today that was like, I'm not trying to blow anybody's high, but the Jets had 28 players that didn't play today.
Facts.
Okay?
I think that does need to be out there too.
And
as
I
well.
think that needs to be out there
Yeah.
when tempering expectations. I
Yeah,
just
agree.
think it just needs to be said because everybody, myself included, will get carried away. Like, oh, and you see so much improvement. Did I see an improvement from Thursday with Forbes and in some other areas as well? Yes, I did. But they're not playing the same players. He's not going against wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
And even 2 in some of the cases. So that therein lies the issue for me and the challenge for me. When he's going up against the top receiver on the team, he's gonna have some problems. We saw him have a few problems today as well. So that's the concern there. The confidence is building. I see it, right? I for certainly see it, but it's just they know the opposing team will know that is a weak link, and they'll exploit it every time.
Go ahead, Glenn. Go
Now
ahead.
you mentioned his confidence. You mentioned his confidence is getting better, but today it took another hit. Today it took a hit, and then you mentioned he wasn't against wide receiver 1, right? And so each week he has to get better because again he is a first round draft pick, number 1 pick. I mean
First round.
first round draft pick. First round draft pick. You need to improve from your first season to the second season, and his new coaching staff, and he has to realize, and a lot of players on this team have to realize they didn't draft you.
Right.
They have no obligation to you, and so you're playing for a job. They can cut fish and cut bait and be okay with letting a first round draft pick go if it doesn't work with this team. And I think Forbes has to get better and be more consistent with this team, and not be compared to anybody else. But and that's on coaching staff. They got to make this young man consistent and fit into their program.
Yep. Yeah. It's concerning. From my vantage point, it's concerning either way, right? Because I'm already like, well, who's going to cover wide receiver 1? When you look at none of the games are easy. We always say, winning an NFL game is very difficult. And in these high-powered offenses, okay, well, who's going to cover wide receiver 1 that we can trust? I mean, you're not going to win them all.
Yeah.
But you can't, I know the other day, you even hit comment on one of my posts. It was like, well, I heard he just got an interception. And I was just like.
You did, though. You did,
yeah.
You were like, yeah. You were like, yeah.
Like, how am I supposed to tell people? Like, and it's hard because you want to tell the truth. And you want to be fair.
Yeah,
at the same token.
That's your job. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you got that INT, but if the other team ends up scoring 21 points on your side of the field, then what we doing?
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough, and it's going to be some surprises, or maybe not. Maybe it won't be a surprise, but did he do better today? Absolutely. Yes, comparatively speaking. But again, he's not going up against, wide receiver 2 and 3. He's not going against the backups in the regular season.
Hey, Candy, I want to go back to another bright spot real quick. Sorry, y'all, if I'm jumping around.
No, you good? Because go ahead. Y'all good.
Ben Sinnott is a fan favorite right now on X. Second coming to Chris Cooley and all. But he just did an interview. I don't know if you were around him. He's basically saying he was nervous, and he's like, I got the jitters out now. Like, we haven't even seen the best of him yet. That's kind of cool to hear a young guy say that, like, be honest about how he felt. But he looked good, though. You wouldn't have known that from the way he played. He played so tough. And he's like, I'm ready to do more because I was just trying to get the jitters out, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting, Jaden actually mentioned that as well. He said Jaden actually shared that he gets nervous before every game. He's the butterflies, I made a tweet today. I said, oh, so that's why they drafted Ben Sinnott. Because, hey, I've been wanting to see it. And when I asked, Dan Quinn, when I asked coaches about Ben Sinnott, it's not that I'm questioning whether or not he's good or great or anything. I just want to make sure I understand what they see. Because I may not have seen it just yet. And while I say, okay, I'm waiting for these joint practices, I'm waiting for the preseason game. Okay. And I said, oh, so that's why they drafted Ben Sinnott. I get it now. I see it now. It makes a whole lot of sense in this here game. And so if that's where his floor is, right? That's his floor. That's not his ceiling. When he gets closer to the ceiling, he's going to be a bad man. I see it now. Totally get it. And I was just like, oh, all right, let me be quiet on Ben Sinnott because he did all right today. I won't be too, all right. I'm a believer. I can see the vision. I see exactly why he's on this team. I get it.
Nah, he's definitely one of them.
He's
Dujanay.
versatile. If you saw today, he played different. He played the fullback. He played the tight end.
He's
He
tough.
played different positions. So they can use him. Kingsbury has a new toy that he likes to move around and play with. And he's going to be tough in trouble.
Right.
Dujanay said he just isn't consistent. I guess he's speaking of Forbes. He just isn't consistent with the playing technique. You can't get beat by a guy we have to Google to figure out who the heck he is. Basically, I had
to look that up.
I had to look him up.
Forbes needs to have some fun. That's what Jaden Daniels was saying in his presser. We went out there and had fun. I think Forbes got to find the fun back in. Like you said, the love of it, Candy, but also you got to have fun out there too playing football.
Yeah, you gotta really love it. Gotta be fun. It's like. And you don't want to confuse it where people are, may look at, because I'm seeing a little bit of this too, where it may be questioned whether or not Jaden or other players are taking it seriously. Well, yeah, they are taking it seriously. Not just because you see them smiling and laughing and feeling good about it. They feel good about it. They want to be out there. And you don't have to force them to be out there. You don't have to force them to learn and get better and find areas to improve. They really, really, really want to be out there, and they're really having a good time.
Hey, DJ said, I think the Cooley comparison is a little much. Cooley was all right. Fans give him too much credit for being average. Hey, I said what I said.
Liddell Levels, I told you, Ole.
Nah, he's definitely waiting. No, Cooley's one of them. I'm sorry, DJ. He's one of them, bro. And
he's a fan favorite, like I said.
Nah, he's one of them.
You
can't be a Pro Bowler. You can't be a Pro Bowler and be a regular player. He's a Pro Bowler, bro. He ain't average.
Cooley was tough.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he was tough. Hey, anybody getting any more questions for Candy? Candy got to take a drive back. We can't have her all here now.
Just real quick, Candy. What, if anything, did the coach say about the special teams? Because that was pretty uneven today.
I was going to ask him about that. I actually mentioned that to him after the press conference. Like, Coach, I had a list of 10 or 12 questions for you, buddy, but I was going to wait until after you watch the tape. I said, because I think my questions are going to be like, well, I need to watch the tape first. I mean, you probably could have given some gut reactions, but I want to know his honest, of course, as much as honest as he can be with us in the press conference after he watched the film, because I totally agree. It was definitely uneven. That one play where ultimately, hey, we all laughed and joked and we was like, yeah, trust way. But look, it was like 6 or 7 of them over there, and all of them, and then nobody made
that. Horrible.
Okay, no one. Right? So there's definitely some, like you said, unevenness there for certain.
All right, so before I let just one question from one of our viewers, Paul said, between Driscoll and Mariota.
Here we go.
Who do you feel like is better?
It'll be Marcus anyway, right? Because that's why they decided, before the game, didn't matter what happened.
One series.
Jaden was playing one series. Marcus was playing one series.
Got you. So they know they want to see. Oh, okay. Thanks for being on. Before I let you go, man, how can folks catch you on social? How can they check stuff out for Bowie TV? The floor is yours.
Yep. Oh, thanks you guys for having me on again. I'm glad I was able to hop on with you all just for a bit. You can subscribe on YouTube to Bowie_TV and definitely follow me on X at CWallSE. You can also follow at Bowie TV Sports on X and on Instagram.
How the Commander fans travel up there, Candy? It was more of them than that FedEx, man. I was like, wow, maybe you gotta have a good stadium. It was a lot of Commander
I think they wanted to see Jaden. I think they wanted to see, even though it was just one series, they wanted to see Jaden take that first snap.
That's crazy.
First NFL game.
Be safe, homie.
All right,
be
see
safe.
y'all.
Bye, Candy.
Bye.
Oh man, that's awesome, man. Awesome work. Great, Candy. Great
as always.
Always.
Hey, real quick, man. Ray, you just switched helmets up, man. I thought for a minute there, listening earlier, we're gonna start calling this the purple and black everything. All purple. You guys. I was part of that too. I was part of that too.
Hey, this the silver one.
We always reference them. I don't know why we can't stop referencing them. So, I hate that they have a better organization.
Shoot, I should be the beat reporter for the purple and gold. I need to Actually, yeah, I need to apply for that job, Glenn. Holler at me. About to pull a
I joke about that, but we joke about it, and people who don't live in the DMV don't understand. It's not that far of a drive, but the culture is completely different.
It's totally different,
and it's just not the athletic team, but it's the city in general, right?
Yes.
It's the city in general, the people in general, and from that city to DC, it's totally different. But it's just the culture. It is the culture. It's like when you say the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's the culture, and it just makes makes them want every game makes a difference, right? Yeah. You see Ravens, they could be out of the playoffs, it'd be 2-14, whatever. Every game makes a difference, and that's what Commanders are trying to live to.
And Kenny mentioned it briefly, and you mentioned it, Glenn. And I want to go back to this because I just thought as I was driving around today, getting ready for this game. George Allen came in here with an organization in the early 70s that was flat on its back, had been bad for almost 30 years. And even though his players drove him nuts, he's like, he wanted to win every preseason game. That's why when they had 6 of them to get ready for the season. And the starters would play a lot, and he would try to win every preseason game because he was trying to establish something. And I'm seeing the same thing here. Dan Quinn and all these people have come in with an organization that has been flat on its back for nearly 3 decades. And trying to win these games is important to set that tone and change that culture and get the kind of winning culture that Pittsburgh and the Ravens and now the 49ers have that we used to have, during Joe Gibbs' era and really during both George Allen and Joe Gibbs. So that was, I think, one of the most pleasing aspects for me about this game today is the way that they approached it and took it seriously. And it does mean something, Glenn. They do. Even these preseason ones do.
No, I agree. I think there's something that they're trying to build culture. That's what real culture. That's what's going on, and hopefully it happens. I do want to say something. Well, something Glenn said before we had Candy on about Jamin Davis. I don't think that. I mean, obviously, you don't want if he's entrenched, he's not playing that long, but he is learning a new position. So I think you do just like you try to treat anybody who's learning a new position. You want them out there long so they can pretty much get all of it, because you're not going to learn all of that in camp, and just in training camp. You're going to have to go against somebody else. In drill talk, he went against a first rounder and did well. He went against Penn State and did well. The kid from Penn State, the one that we wanted, and did well. So it's for me, I don't think that it's a bad look for him to play that long. I get your point, though. It makes, honestly, off the eye test, that's why I raised the same thing about Jahan Dotson. Why is Jahan playing in the second half? Playing most of the most of the first half in the first preseason game. So, and Ray had a great point. Same thing with James. I think Ray was he's learning this offense, so he has to play a little longer, which makes sense, right? I made sense when Ray explained it to me. But the same thing goes for Jamin. Jamin's learning a whole new position. So you do want him out there to go against a first rounder. That's not bad, because the guys they have in the guys he has to practice against ain't good. I'm sorry. So this is good. This is a good test. Fashanu ain't no joke. This is a guy that is going to start opening day for the Jets. So I'm yeah, this is good work for Jamin. This is something he needs. He needs reps. He needs more reps because pass rushing is a feel. It's a vibe. He needs that. So I don't think he's in trouble, because if he was in he played too well to be in trouble, to be honest with you. I think if he played poorly, then we have that discussion for real. You know what I'm saying? So Ray, that's why Jahan. I see it. That's why Jahan got extended minutes. I see your little chat, Ray. All right.
I was basically validating what you were saying.
I know, bro.
It's good work. I think that's good coaching, Coach Glenn. What you think? Come on, man. This is what preseason is for. Get the work in.
Yeah, you want to see what your players know, especially those guys in new positions and guys that you have questions about. Those are guys that you want to get a rep, especially those guys that Jonathan Allen didn't play today. You know what you're going to get out of Jonathan Allen, right? You know what he's going to give you. So you got your veterans there, but then you got some guys, because let's be honest, we mentioned on the last podcast, you guys go check it out. When we talk about Jahan, this third season for him is very, very pivotal for him.
It is.
He had a good first season. Second season was a little shabby, but you can blame that on coaching. You can blame that on the quarterback carousel. This year has to be the year Jahan take that next step, right? Because everybody was saying it, I included, was like, you know what, Jahan, we talked about it. Ray, you said at the beginning of last year too, right? Jahan could be that guy who pushed Terry, and we were talking more about Jahan than we were Terry. And then he had that season last year for all the reasons that we talk about, Ron Rivera, quarterback, O-line, all that. It just didn't work out. The Philly game. And again, talk about confidence. I think Jahan may not say his confidence was shot too. I think after the Philly game that he was a little struck with confidence, because think about it, kid, that you never had backlash like that at Penn State. You didn't really have backlash like that in high school. Now you have all Commanders fans calling you that you suck and they shouldn't have picked you. It does take a mental toll on you. And he wasn't just the only one with Emmanuel Forbes as well. So I think Jahan mentally has grown up. And I think he's gotten better. I think everybody embraces this coaching staff. Everybody that you hear about, everybody we talk to, they say it's fun at practice. They're having a good time. They're energetic. And that's what you're looking for. You don't want the fun, the energetic, the atmosphere that's been created. Now just need to translate to the field and produce. Everything's good to the first real game.
I agree. Everything's good till you get to a real game. I agree with that.
Real game.
So I mean, I do want to give you an opportunity to get you some of the stuff that you saw. I know you spoke about gave us an overall thought process, but in terms of like before we end the show up, in terms of Jaden Daniels, like what was did you get the I see enough? This is the guy, or you still wanted to see him in other situations type of vibe?
No, I think I've seen enough because what I did see for that first series, you saw who he is, right? Mm-hmm. He is a kid who is, and I say kid loosely. He is even before he even touched the field, right? You saw who he was when he walked in with the Doug Williams jersey, right? So you saw who he was when he walked in with the Doug Williams jersey. He understands where he's at. He understands the fan base. He understands the people. So who's the biggest name besides Darryl Green? I can't wear that yet, right? Because I'm a quarterback. Who's the best quarterback in this? And when you talk about quarterback in the organization besides Joe Theismann, you talk about Doug Williams, right? The first African-American quarterback to win a Super Bowl, right? So you pay homage to him. So the young man thought about that even before he walked into the field and got into New York. He said, okay, let me put this on. The fans going to love me. Let me have a preseason workout. When I come here, we talk about the learning curve. He knew when to check plays off, right? Because he checked out of a play that he didn't like, right? They was playing man coverage. He said, let me check. I have the freedom to do so. Hey, he gambled. He betted on himself because it would have went wrong. Everybody be dogging him right now. He betted on himself. And it worked out, right? So again, he got that. And we saw him even with the touchdown run, right? He knew from then when the end crashed down, I need to pull this and go, right? You watch the end crash down, and he was able to go. So that means he's been understanding his playbook. He understands his read. He's reading. He's looking around. So I saw what I needed to see from him. His first pass to Dehami was a deep ball. People talked about he wasn't accurate deep, right? He didn't do well with things deep. So he was accurate to Dehami deep. So for that one series, we saw what Jaden Daniels could be for this team. Does he need work? Yeah, because I hear Ray like Glenn being a homer. Now I do need he needs some work, right? He needs some work, but I think for him to be the face of this franchise today, he did everything right.
Also, real quick too. Also, your thoughts on Cliff Kingsbury? We weren't sure about him, but what you saw, did you feel good about it?
I wasn't sure about him, but I like how he ran the ball a lot today.
And I like how See, I had to get that. That's what I'm saying. Hey, Glenn, I'm with you. That's what I'm saying. That's why I want to get you.
I like how you ran the ball today, and not only how you ran the ball, but you saw the running backs being explosive and sure about where they was going. They was running downhill, right? And he was running. Think about in the Scott Turner days and all those. They didn't run the ball downhill. Everything was lateral, right? This team right here started to run the ball downhill with a makeshift offensive line. See, you know what I'm saying? With a makeshift offensive line, I know the Jets were missing some players. I get it. But this team still ran downhill. And that's what I saw next week against Miami. Hope Miami plays their starters a little bit longer. We may get a true test and see what this offense can do. Miami is a playoff team. Let's be honest, right? Let's see what this team can do defensively and offensively against the Miami.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, well, folks, man, appreciate y'all for tapping in with us, man. This has been a great show. Appreciate Candy for jumping on. Always appreciate the fellas. Glenn, George, Ray, appreciate y'all. But hey, before we end this show, make sure you subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and all podcast platforms. Just search All Burgundy and Gold Everything. Also, tweet us at ABG_everything and hit us up on IG at ABG_everything. And like our All Burgundy and Gold Everything Facebook page. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you are a new viewer, make sure you subscribe to this pod. Just hit that red subscribe button and also like this video. I think I see a comment real quick before I'm about to close this show. I'm gonna get Gearsell. I'm gonna show Gearsell some love. Gearsell says needs to go back to his Mississippi roots and add some grits, bacon, and pork chops to his diet. Dog, I thought he got a little bigger, man. Pause. Come on, man. Shoot, don't do that, man. Don't do him like that. He's got a little bigger, man. Pause again. Anyway, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Oh man, I forgot to mention this too, man. We back. We doing this. We pre-gaming, post-gaming. So let y'all know, we were the first to ever do it. We back. All right, we back. Anyway, appreciate y'all. You've been listening to All Burgundy and Go Everything, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM, Hopewell, Virginia, for ages. You dig? Deuces. We out.